Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this Engineering Service Examination 2026 Preliminary Examination Civil Engineering question paper. So in this session, myself along with my colleague faculty members of ESE Engineering Academy, we are going to present the key and the detailed solutions for the Civil Engineering Prelims exam paper. So before we go further, let me show you the weightage of different subjects given in this preliminary examination of engineering service examination, this civil engineering paper. So you can see the different subjects what we have in our syllabus along with the number of questions given this year 2026. So the strength of materials SOM subject enjoyed the highest weightage of 24 number of questions. It's very good weightage. Next you can see the analysis. So we marked actually it is a 0, but actually we have to see combinedly the strength of materials as well as the structural analysis subjects, right? It's not fair to say completely 0. Of course, if you have prepared a strength of materials subject, you could answer all these 24 questions. Next you can see construction practice, planning and management. It also enjoyed a considerable weightage of 13 questions. Next you can see RCC and PSC 13 questions. And then design of steel structures enjoyed the considerable weightage of 12 questions. And then geotechnical 12 questions. The fluid mechanics and hydraulic machinery along with the open channel flow, it has a weightage of 13 questions. And then hydrology, it has relatively enjoyed what you call a very good weightage. It's a small subject but very good weightage of 88 questions. Then irrigation engineering 4 questions. And then environmental engineering 13 questions. The transportation engineering 14 questions, very good weightage. And then surveying 11 questions. Building materials, good weightage of 12 questions. And geology as expected, the 1 question. So this is the breakup of different subjects given in the ESE 2026 prelims exam civil engineering paper, right? So I will take up the geotechnical engineering subject first and I will give the key and the solutions. Then my colleague faculty members will go on adding the solution for the rest of the subjects. Engineering subject. So this is the first question. Which one of the following statement is not correct regarding the soil sampling? Soil sampling. You can see the number of statements given there. Number of statements given there. Let me choose the color. So this is regarding the open dry sampler. Area ratio is given 30%. And a thin walled sampler, split barrel sampler, continuous sampler. Actually you must be knowing there are 2 types of samplers. One is a thin walled, other one is a thick walled sampler. A sampler is called thin walled sampler when the area ratio is less than 10%. Based on a particular statement, you can eliminate rest of the options here. You can see in the case of a thin walled sampler, the area ratio is given approximately as 100%. So this is a wrong statement because it should be less than 10%, because the question is to pick up which is not correct. So this is not correct. So that is the answer, because it must be less than 10%. That's why it is a wrong statement. Number 2, which one of the following statement is again not correct? So this where you have to be careful. Is it correct or wrong, not correct? Regarding the Taylor's stability number. The number is defined as a Cm by gamma h. Yes, that is correct statement. Next is the procedure is based on the Swedish method of slices. It is a wrong statement. Why? Because the Taylor's stability number is based on the friction circle method. That's why this is a wrong statement. So you are asked to pick up the wrong statement only. That's why the answer is B, Bombay. Next, number 3 is a small numerical problem here. You are given a sandy soil cylindrical shape, diameter given, the height given, porosity also given. The test is said to be constant head test, right? As you can read this, you are given the data of how much water collected, the time also. You are asked to work out the seepage velocity. Here you have to be careful whether you are asked to find out the seepage velocity, otherwise the discharge velocity. Please mind it, it is the seepage. This is where you normally do the mistake there. So first you have to calculate the discharge velocity, because this is a constant head test. The discharge velocity V is equal to Q by A, discharge by area of cross section. Discharge is equal to volume of the water collected by time. You can see volume is given 40 centimeter cube, and time is given 5 seconds. 40 by 5, that gives you what you call the discharge. You know how to find area of a cylindrical shape, pi by 4 diameter squared. That gives you the velocity. What velocity? The discharge velocity. So when you work out, I have the value already worked out. The value would come 0.41 centimeters per second. But that's not the answer. You are asked to find the seepage velocity. You know how to find the seepage velocity? That is given usually a symbol called V suffix S, Vs. The seepage velocity is equal to discharge velocity by porosity. So when you substitute the values 0.41 and the porosity is already given as a 60%. So when you work out, that gives you 0.67 centimeter cube per second. So this is the correct answer. You can see option C. Next is the question number 4. This is also a small numerical question. A soil layer is partially saturated due to the capillary. The degree of saturation is given as 50%. Some point X is given there at a height of 0.25 meters from the water table position. You are asked to find the pore water pressure when you have what you call a capillarity. When you present the data here, so if you take this as the ground level, and somewhere here you have this water table, and there is a capillary effect there. A capillary effect is there. The point X is said to be at a height of 0.25 meters above the water table position. So somewhere here the point X is there. So this height is given as 0.25 meters there. So you are asked to find the pore water pressure. You all know very well the pore water pressure U is equal to, when you have capillary there is a negative pore pressure, so that's why we assign a minus symbol there, minus gamma W Hc into the degree of saturation. Here as you see the data, gamma W but unit weight of water that is missing here, you have to assume some value there. If you take a round figure of 10 kg per meter cube, and Hc, height of the point X, that is 0.25 meters, and the degree of saturation already given as 50% there, so you have to take 0.5. So when you work out this one, 10 into 0.25, that comes to 2.5, again half, so it is going to be minus 1.25 kilopascals. So this is the answer for this question. So minus 1.25, so this is the answer. Next is number 5. Which one of the following statement is not correct regarding the clay minerals? We have the 3 popular clay minerals: montmorillonite, illite and colonite. if you look at here, some statistical information is given about this mineral. See, remembering all the statistical data of all the minerals is not an ordinary, what you call, a task. It is a Herculean task. That's why most of students who prepare for the competitive examination, they pay attention only regarding the montmorillonite clay mineral. So you must be knowing the montmorillonite clay mineral properties. So for example, let me write this one. In the case of montmorillonite, if you look at liquid limit, plastic limit, and shrinkage limit. So this I am writing specifically with regard to the montmorillonite, because usually the students are advised to remember this particular mineral characteristics here. So here the liquid limit is going to be usually 100 to 900%, and the plastic limit is 50 to 100%, and this is 8.5 to 15%. When you check this one, the typical range of, okay, if you the statement, if you see here, the typical range of the liquid limit of montmorillonite is 100 to 900. Yes, so this is a correct statement. The typical range of the plastic limit of montmorillonite is 50 to 100. It is also a correct statement. In the case of montmorillonite, the shrinkage limit is 8.5 to 15%. But if you look at here, that value of 8.5 to 15, it is given in the case of kaolinite. It is not correct. In fact, kaolinite will have much higher value. So this is the value of actually montmorillonite. So this is a wrong statement. That's why the answer is A. Next is, this is another numerical question, the seepage analysis problem. You know that the regular usual used formula for this one, that is discharge is equal to K into H into NF upon ND, where NF stands for number of flow channels, ND number of potential drops. Here you can see coefficient of permeability. So the K is already given there. The K is given. And regarding this H is nothing but the seepage head, the difference of upstream and downstream water depths there. Upstream is given as so 18 meters, downstream depth is 8 meters. So the H value should take 18 minus 8, nothing but 10 meters only. The remaining data, for example, you can see number of channels, number of drops already given there. So when you substitute, when you evaluate this value, the value will work out to be 0.64 centimeter cube per second per centimeter length. So 0.64 value is available. So that's why the answer is B, 0.64 centimeter cube per second. The next question is another numerical problem on the weightometer test. There are all problems which require some amount of time from you. You need to be patient enough to evaluate these small numericals. So you are given weightometer test data. You are asked to apply to the field. We have that very commonly very important formula in this chapter. That is something you may recollect, because time of consolidation is directly proportional to the D, drainage path square. Accordingly, when you work out, the formula will get simplified like this: D2 by T1 is equal to D2 by D1 whole squared. Here 1 means the weightometer case, 2 means the field case. So when you look at here, in the case of weightometer, the drainage path D1 is equal to, thickness is 2 centimeters, but that is said to be double drainage. So you should take 2 by 2, that is 1 centimeter. The time already given as 15 minutes of time. 15 minutes of time. Whereas in the case of the field, the thickness of the clay at the field is given as 4 meters, that too it is given as a single drainage. Therefore, drainage path is equal to 4 meters. But be careful to convert into centimeters, because the first value you have already taken in terms of centimeters. So when you work out, that comes to be 400 centimeters. You are asked to find the time of consolidation. When you substitute the data in the above formula, you get the time T2. Initially in terms of some minutes you get there. When you convert, you are going to get so 1666.7 days. So you can see the answer already available here, option C. And then the next question, you are given a river of a 2 meters depth of water. It consists of a sand bed, gamma saturated value already given 20 kilometer cube. What is the what is the effective vertical pressure of 5 meters below the top of the sand? It's not from top of the water. This where you have to be careful. So this is the river where you have some depth of water. So here you are asked to find the effective stress at a depth of 5 meters below the river bed. You must be knowing that simple concept that in the case of a river, the depth of the water present above the bed, it has no effect on the effective stress. So the effective stress depends mainly on the depth that is below the bed level. So the usual formula is gamma dash into Z, where Z nothing but this value what we should take as Z there. Here one more point, you require gamma W unit weight of water is not given there. You have to assume some value here. So you know how to find the gamma dash, gamma set minus gamma W into the depth. The gamma set already given as 20. Regarding gamma W, you take usually the correct value 9.81, approximate value is 10. If you take the correct value of 9.81, depth you have to take 5 meters. Normally you may do mistake while taking the depth only. You should not take from the water onwards. You should take from the bottom of the bed only. So when you work out this calculation, it comes to be nearly 51 kilopascals. You have that answer, 51 kilopascals. And then the next question, another numerical problem here. In fact, in this GT paper, more than 50% of the questions are given with the numericals. They are all somewhat time consuming. Is a vane shear test. You are given a torque 35 Newton meters, and then vane width is given. You have to keep in mind that the vane width is nothing but the diameter of the vane only, and the height of the vane is 100 mm. It is said length, nothing but height only. You are asked to find the undrained strength of the clay. Nothing but the undrained strength, nothing but shear strength, nothing but undrained cohesion only. We have that regular formula how to find the torque in a vane shear test. The T is equal to pi d squared Cu h by 2 plus d by 6. You are given here the torque. You are given here the diameter. Height nothing but length also given. This is also given. You are asked to find the Cu value. I do not want to go and waste time here substituting values and evaluating here. All the data is available. When you substitute, when you struggle, you are going to get the Cu value something this much, 76.43 kilopascals. But mind it, you are given torque in terms of Newton meter, the dimensions vary in terms of millimeters. Don't forget to take the dimensions in terms of meters. So this is the final answer, 76.43. So this is what the answer what you can pick up there. So I have 3 more questions in the GT subject. So another numerical problem here. Actually, this kind of questions we saw in other GATE exams given for 5 marks, 6 marks also earlier in the very old GATE papers if you see. So this problem you have to solve without the help of the calci here. It requires some amount of time. You are given a footing that is a square shape. The footing has a pressure of 400 kilopascals. The depth of the foundation also given there. So when you make some approximate figure here quickly, so this is the width of the foundation that is given as 2.5 meters. The depth of the foundation is given as 1 meter. So this is 2.5 meters. Here you have to be careful whether to take the effect of water table or not. Water table is said to be at a depth of 5 meters below the ground level. So somewhere here we have this water table. If we draw the wedge portion below the footing, this much only. So this depth of the wedge portion below the footing for taking into consideration the effect of water table, usually you take as B. So this is 2.5, that is 1 meter, which is only 3.5 meters, but the water table is 5 meters. So therefore you can say there is no effect of water table here. There is no effect of water table. You can simply ignore the water table there. You are asked to find the factor of safety. You know, factor of safety you have to always work out with regard to the net values. With the usual formulation, the factor of safety is equal to net ultimate bearing capacity by net pressure that is acting at the bottom of the footing here. So if you look at here, net footing pressure already given there. The gross pressure minus gamma dF. Gross pressure is given as 400 here. You can see already. Usually you have to take the pressure of footing, nothing but gross pressure only. Minus the gamma dF. Gamma is 17. Depth of the foundation is 1. So that comes to be 383 kilopascals. And here you have to spend some time to work out the net ultimate bearing capacity here. The question is 0. You can simply ignore the CNC effect here. You have to take remaining effect. This is nothing but a sandy soil, cohesionless. That's why you are not given NC value here, and C is given already as 0. The usual formula is gamma dF into NQ minus 1. Why I take NQ minus 1? Because I want to work out here the net ultimate bearing capacity. Why should work out net ultimate bearing capacity? Why not gross means? Because you are asked to find the factor of safety. Factor is always worked out with respect to the net pressures. So gamma dF NQ minus 1. Because the shape is square shape, I should take the shape factor as 0.4. 0.4 into gamma into B into N gamma. So gamma is given as 17, depth is given as 1 meter, NQ value, N gamma already available there. The width is 2.5 meters. When you put all the values, when you simplify, finally you are going to get a numerical value of QNU this much, 2686 kilopascals. So finally when you substitute the value in the formula, QNU by QN, that is 2686 by 383. So you get value exactly 7. You can see the answer 7 is exactly available there. Next, last but one. This is again a numerical problem. A braced excavation, depth of the trench is given, gamma of the clay is given, C value given. You are asked to find the factor of safety. What is the factor of safety? The base failure of the excavations. Normally you require the NC value, sometimes you have to assume, but here the problem is not there. You are asked to take the NC value already as 7.1. So with the usual notations, the factor of safety formula is the CNC upon gamma into H. Here the C value already available there. It is given 40. The NC value is given 7.1. Gamma is 20. The depth is given as 4. So when you simplify, you will get the value nearly equal to 1.8. So 1.8 already available there as option D. So that is the correct answer. Then last question, the GT. Somewhat lucky, it's not numerical, but it's a theoretical question. But the difficulty here is some statistical data is given. Normally students, they don't try to memorize these values, but here you have to use some common sense to answer this question. Which one of the following is not correct regarding the typical values of the coefficient of earth pressure? You know, coefficient of earth pressure at rest, nothing but K0. You are given value of denser sand and loose sand some values. Even though you do not know, just to keep it aside, when you look at this normally consolidated clay, in the case of NC clay, the coefficient of earth pressure at rest, this value will be normally equal to 0.5. So how can you say 0.5 means? Usually we use a formula 1 minus a sine phi. The phi you can take 0 approximately. So, but this is normally consolidated clay. Please understand here. If you see the data also, the value is given approximately 0.5 to 0.55. Here you can see value is 0.55, nearest value. But the question is regarding the over consolidated clay. In the case of over consolidated clay, the coefficient of at rest, OC clay, that's equal to the K0 of the NC clay into the square root of OCR. Because this is a over consolidated clay, the OCR value is more than 1. Therefore, we have to understand here that the K0 of over consolidated clay, it must be more than the K0 of normally consolidated clay. It means over consolidated clay value must be more than normal consolidated value. But here if you see, the value is given something less. That's why this is a wrong statement. That is how we can infer the answer from the given statements here. So this is what the wrong answer for this question number 30. Right? That's what regarding the geotechnical engineering subject. My other colleague faculty members will come and present the key for the rest of the subjects. Thank you.
So coming to concession planning and management, there are very simple questions from concession management. Only 2-3 questions are difficult. So let us have the questions. The optimistic time estimate. Generally, optimistic time means very lowest value, maybe simply we can say shortest possible time under ideal conditions. So what is the answer here? Answer is option C, shortest possible time in which activity can be completed under ideal conditions. So coming to next question, it is a numerical. What is the expected time of completion of an activity if the optimistic time 4 days, most likely 6 days, pessimistic TP? So use the formula. So TE is equal to T0 plus 4Tm plus TP by 6. So using this formula, so we'll be getting the value. So T0 is equal to 4, TL value 6, 24 plus 4 28 plus TP value 11, 39 by 6. 39 by 6 means around 6.5. Answer is option A. So coming to independent float. Independent float is basically, when you see the diagram, independent float is according to AOA diagram convention, Ij, Dij is a duration. At I, two values you can find Ei, Li. At J, Ej, Lj. So minimum available time means this is actually minimum available time, independent float plus Dij. So independent float is using the formula Ej minus Li minus Dij. So which equation, like this equation is generally you can check it out. Where it is applicable, maximum amount of time by which an activity delayed from early start without delaying the problem, it is actually basically pre-float. Maximum amount of time by which activity can be delayed without delaying the early start means it is again pre-float only. Here the next option C is a wrong statement. Why it is wrong statement? Just see simply maximum amount of time by which an activity can be delayed without delaying the project but will cause delay in the early start of some of the following activity. It is wrong. So what is the right answer here? Option D, because here is used without delaying the project even if all predecessors are late start, early start, late and early. Where we are using late and early, Ej, Li. So that's why independent float is the right answer. So next question related to bidding. Here there are bidding prices mentioned and conditions also mentioned. What are the conditions mentioned here? There are 3 conditions need to be satisfied. The first condition, technical score must be more than 50. Technical score must be more than 50 means C is ultimately ruled out. So C deleted case because 45 only technical score. Next, second condition, job is awarded to the bidder with highest composite score evaluated considering equal weightage. So when you see the highest, highest score, combined score. So what is the minimum bidding price? 1,15,000. Suppose you take for this, it is around 80% something you are getting. 1,15,000 divided by 1,35,000 into 100, then we are going to get financial score. It is around 80%. So 81 or something you are getting. This value approximately it is equal to 41 something. 50% of this 41 and this is 40, 81. So who is having highest score? If you see the combined score, B has highest weightage. So B is having highest combined score. So we can say according to 1 and 2, B is generally qualified. But coming to the third condition, what is the third condition? The call may be cancelled if the award price deviates more than 20% of the estimated cost. So if you see the estimated cost 1 lakh, 1,35,000 is generally ruled out case because it is more than 20%. 1,25,000 also ruled out case. 1,15,000 only eligible. But combined score if you take, who is very qualified now? B is very qualified. So now if you see the options, option A, cancel the call though the contractor B is technically qualified. B is technically qualified, but however whatever is bidding price is 1,25,000 is more than this 20% of this. That's why this statement is correct. But actually the question is having incomplete data. The reason could be option D, if you see just only contractor C mentioned, it is incomplete. So it's a doubtful case. As per the available data, we can work out option A is a correct because we are cancelling the B since he is exceeding 20% of the estimated cost. Only based upon available data only we are answering, but if D is not given completely, that's why I am unable to clarify the solution. So next question is related to 10 percentage profit mentioned. Here he has given 20 tons fabrication per month, each month 20 tons, and fixed cost mentioned. So simply what we do, the total cost you can take. Here 1,50,000 plus 30,000. This is per month divided by 20. So we are going to get per ton, plus indirect cost 35,000 rupees. So if you take this value 9,000 plus 35,000, it is around 44,000. This is actually, we are expecting this at break even, but actually profit is mentioned 10 percentage. So 44,000 into 10% means 1.1, it is around 49,000. So from the options, like which is the right option here? Option D, 49,000. Next, this question is related to number of observations. Direct formula is the number of observations is equal to Z square into sigma. Sigma is nothing but P into 1 minus P divided by E square. E is nothing but error. If you substitute Z value 2 square, P value 20%, 0.2 into 0.8 divided by E square 0.05 square. So if you simplify this, it is around 256. So answer is option A. So coming to next question, now here ISO 9001 you can use. Based upon ISO 9001 is basically requirement. So P is matching with the 2. P2 means where you are getting P2, only one option is matching, that is option A. So without any discussion we can go for option A. Next question is simply crash cost slope. Cost slope is equal to, what is the formula for cost slope? Delta C divided by delta T. So coming to cost difference here how much? 10,000 minus 5,000, 5,000 cost difference. Time difference 10 minus 5, 5. So it is equal to 1,000 per day. So rupees 1,000 per day, straight away option A. Next, under time related financial incentive, if you see the options, this is actually work related. For completing fixed quantity work, maybe time, maybe it is not time, it is only quantity related, maybe piece rate system. And this is also predetermined time, like it is a PMTS type. So which is actually matching with this option A. Of course D also maybe the option, but the most nearest answer is option A. And coming to this question, here you have to find out standard deviation. Standard deviation formula for any activity, sigma is equal to TP minus T0 by 6. Okay, don't take square. Variance is equal to TP minus T0 by 6 whole square. So coming to activity A, what is the TP value? 16. 16 minus 4. For activity A, 16 minus 4 by 6. How much? 2. A 2. So where you are getting option A directly. We can choose option A. And coming to B, B not necessary. Suppose you take B, not necessary, but for the sake of safe side, 22 minus 4. 22 minus 4 by 6. 18 by 6, 3. 2 comma 3. Answer is option A. So that's all about concession planning management. Next, Keshav Reddy sir is going to discuss about the remaining subject, RCC and other subjects.
Hi students, how did you write the exam? We'll talk about strength of material. This year, as usual, strength of material is having highest weightage. And if you observe the questions, almost 7 questions are from the complex stresses chapter. From complex stresses chapter, 7 questions, almost 1/3 of the total weightage. We'll check up the question. The first question, the component of stresses acting on a 3D element are given, and 4 options are given. If you look at the question, if you look at the options, they are asking you which is not the right option here. This naughty not is very difficult to identify. So the wrong option we need to pick it up. If you directly look at the option C, if the surfaces are assumed to have friction, then shear stress acting on the surface vanish. If surfaces are having friction, there will be shear stress. Shear stress will not be 0, but here it is mentioned as 0. So this is the false statement among the 4. Coming to the next question, an element of 2 centimeter length extended to twice of its initial length and then compressed. The engineering strain for the extension and compression they are asking. So engineering strain is nothing but change in length by original length. Strain for expansion is equal to change in length. 2 is made to 4. So 4 minus 2 by initial length is 2, nothing but 1. If you compress back, the strain is nothing but again 4 back to 2, 4 back to 2, but initial length is 4 now. It is nothing but 1 by 2. So the strain ranges from 1 to 0.5. So only one option is there with this. Answer is option A. Come to the next. A rectangular block is subjected to 2 perpendicular stresses, 10 megapascal tension and 10 megapascal compression. It is something like this. Diagonal tension, diagonal compression is there, and this is a pure shear element. On the plane of pure shear, normal stress is 0. So normal stress on the plane of pure shear is 0, and shear is nothing but the same as 10 megapascal is acting. So answer is option B. It's a direct question based on the fundamental. Come to the obliquity here. Obliquity is nothing but the angle between the normal stress and resultant stress. This is obliquity. This is obliquity. This is shear stress. So tan phi is equal to opposite, shear by normal. So what answer is there? Tan phi is equal to shear stress by normal stress on the plane. It is option A. Come to this. A certain load of 10 Newton is acting on a leaf spring. It is a formula oriented question, and they are asking you to find out the length and deflection of the spring. The length of the spring, if you want to calculate, the stress acting on the leaf spring is given by 3WL by L is length of the spring, 2N BT square. If you substitute all the data, length will come as 960 mm. Length will be 960 mm. Then no need to calculate the deflection because 960 is there only in one option. You can pick up the answer as option D. Okay. Come to the next question. A load of 150 Newton is acting on closed coil helical spring. So 2 questions are there from the springs chapter. If you come to the what they are asking you, diameter of the coil they are asking. The maximum shear stress they are asking you, 16 WR by pi d cube, and they are asking you to find out the diameter. So diameter is nothing but, if you simplify, it is Delhi option 87.64. Coming to the next question, a circular rod of 20 mm diameter and length is given, subjected to tensile force of 50 kilonewton. what is the volumetric strain if Poisson's ratio is given? Volumetric stress is given by sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z into 1 minus 2 mu divided by Young's modulus. And in this case, sigma x is equal to P by A. The force acting in x direction is equal to 50 kilonewton, 50 into 10 cube. The area is, again diameter is given, pi by 4 into 20 square. And if you calculate, the stress will be 160, you can take it, 160 megapascal. And substitute back in this, sigma y and sigma z are zeros. Poisson's ratio is given and Young's modulus is given. If you substitute, the answer will be 39.75 into 10 raised to minus 5. Answer is option B. Coming to the next question, a rod with tappers. For a tapering bar, the change in length, you know, 4 PL upon pi E, bigger dia and smaller dia. If you substitute the given data, it will be 0.08 by pi mm. So answer will be option B, please. Come to the next question. Which of the following measure is the ability of material to absorb the energy before fracture? Up to the fracture, the energy stored in a member is called toughness, or toughness per unit volume is modulus of toughness. Come to the next question. It is also from Springs chapter. Again they are asking you the maximum shear stress. Tau max is 16 Wr by pi d cube. The rigidity modulus is extra data given to us. If you calculate tau max, it is 26.52 by substituting all the given data. Come to the next question. It is again from the principal stresses. The normal stresses P1 and P2 are given, and the shearing stress on the plane is given. Then the normal stress acting on an element rotated through 45-degree plane. So normal stresses are sigma 1 is equal to 120 megapascal, and the other thing is 45 megapascal. Both are tensile, and they are asking you on 45-degree plane what is the normal stress? Sigma theta. Theta is equal to 45-degree plane. If you substitute the normal formula, sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 cos 2 theta plus tau xy sin 2 theta, shear also given there. Shear is given as 30 megapascal. If you simplify, it will be 112.5. It's a direct formula based question. Answer is option D. Come to the next question. At a point in an elastic material, direct tensile stress, again 70 megapascal, compressive stress of 50 megapascal are applied on planes right angle to each other. If the maximum principal stress is 75 megapascal, what is the maximum shear stress? You know that sum of normal stresses on any two mutually perpendicular planes will be zero, will be constant. So sigma x plus sigma y by 2 is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 is equal to the same constant. So from this you can calculate sigma 1 is given, sigma x and sigma y also given. Now you calculate the maximum principal stress in the material is also given. Sigma 2 you can calculate. Sigma 2 becomes minus 55 megapascal, and tau max they are asking you in the question. Tau max is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2. If you simplify, this becomes 65 megapascal. Its answer is option A. A straightforward question. Again, if you look at this question, this is a lengthy question. It may be a bouncer. You can't answer the question within stipulated time. But however, so if you just look at the question, they are asking you, they have given tensile strength. Material has a strength in tension 30 megapascal, strength in compression 90 megapascal, strength in shear 25 megapascal, and the diameter is also given to you. Identify the failure load and the failure plane. So first you consider tensile strength and compressive strength, and then you need to go for the shear strength. Usually I'll check with compressive strength. Compressive strength is equal to load by area, and the load is equal to sigma c into area. Area is pi by 4 d square, and compressive strength is 90. Area can be pi by 4 into what is the diameter? Diameter is 25. So this is equal to 44,181 Newton. And shear, will talk about it. Tau max is equal to sigma by 2, and the maximum shear is given as 25. This is 25 is equal to the P into 25 into 2 is the sigma into area is again pi by 4 into d square. If you take the load in terms of shear, 24.54 Newton. Now before the member gets compressed and failed, it fails in shear. So the answer will be option B. The failure load is 24,543 and it fails at 45 degrees. Shear failure is generally 45 degrees failure. Generally shear strength will be weaker in such cases. First you need to check the shear and then go for the compression and then tension, because strongest is generally in tension. Now coming to this case, a simply supported beam of span 3 meter, cross section is given to us. If the permissible stress in the material of the beam is given, what will be the maximum UDL you can apply onto the beam? So simply supported beam, the bending stress is equal to the 10 megapascal is given in nothing but M by Z. M can be, for simply supported beam, WL square by 8 with UDL, and Z is BD square by 6. Width and depth are given, length is also given. Try to simplify everything with the same units. Then the W will come as 5.76 kilonewton per meter. Simplify this. You can simplify without calculator, you can easily simplify here. Now coming to this stepped bar with a 30 kilonewton load, they are asking you the total change in length. Total change in length is equal to PL upon AE of the first part plus PL upon AE of the second part. Same force is acting on both the material 1 and material 2, but here the width is 40, here the width is 30. It is having uniform thickness. It is having uniform thickness, same thickness of 20 mm, and Young's modulus is given, and if you simplify, the change in length will be 0.5125. So here also you need to simplify without calculator, that is the main point. Now coming to two parallel walls 8 meter apart, stayed together by a steel rod of 20 mm diameter, and it is fixed. The temperature at the time of fixing is 400, you are reducing temperature to 300. Then the bar wants to contract, but the supports will not allow it. Then if the total yielding at the two ends is 5 mm, then what will be the thermal expansion? What will be the force acting on the bar? So here you need to first calculate the free expansion of the bar, L alpha delta T. L is given 8 meter apart, 8000. Alpha is given in per degree Kelvin, 12 into 10 raised to minus 6. And delta T is 400 minus 300 is 100. And if you take this delta L, the delta L will be 9.6 mm. But yielding is how much? 5 mm. The yielding prevented is 9.6 minus 5 is equal to PL upon AE. And they are asking you to find out the P. If you simplify P, 36128. So it is 36128 Newton or 36.128 kilonewton. You need to simplify it. Now coming to the next question, which one of the following statements is naughty not is here? Be careful about this. Regarding principal stresses and principal planes. So here option is answers option C. The planes of extreme shearing stresses are at 90 degrees to the principal planes. No, maximum shear plane is at 45 degrees to the principal plane. Now coming to the next question, they are asking you the tau max is given and they are asking you to calculate maximum torque. So tau max is equal to 16T by pi d cube. The same formula we have used in the springs also. If you calculate everything, if you substitute everything and calculate T, it is 14580 Newton meter. Be careful about simplifications. Now coming to the next question, here the Mohr circle is a point. Once Mohr circle is a point, principal stresses in all directions are same and the radius of Mohr circle is 0, means shear is 0. So coming to the answer for this question, so answer is option C. Is the state of stress shown here is called state of pure shear. So that pure shear is the naughty not, wrong option. Now coming to the next question, cantilever wooden beam of 3 meter long, the maximum bending moment is W into L into L by 2 and beam is having cross section 100 mm, 200 mm depth. What is the maximum bending stress? Bending stress is equal to M by Z. M is WL square by 2, Z is BD square by 6. If you substitute all the values, the bending stress becomes 27 megapascal. 27 megapascal. Answer is option B. Simplify. You can simplify this easily without calculator also, not a critical case. Come to the next question. This is a critical question. A hollow column is given. The load carrying capacity is given to you 2.1 mega Newton, nothing but 2.1 into 10 power 6 Newton, and it is a hollow section and the maximum stress is given as 510 megapascal. This is the stress, but factor of safety is given. So the stress divided by factor of safety is equal to P by A. P is this value, A is equal to pi by 4 outer dia square minus inner dia square. They are asking you external diameter, internal diameter is given to you, external diameter they are asking, very critical question, it may be a bouncer. So answer is 208.49. In the exam hall it is a bouncer, you can solve it after coming out of the exam hall. Next question again it is based on the complex stresses. You have tensile stress at a point 150 megapascal and 180 megapascal and mutually perpendicular directions. They are asking you stress on 30-degree plane. So if you use the formula, the stress on the 30-degree plane will be the stresses on the 30-degree plane. Better is to calculate shear stress, that is 30.31. Shear stress can be calculated as sigma x minus sigma y by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 cos 2 theta plus tau xy sin 2 theta. Using that formula, just to calculate any one parameter and pick up the answer. No need to calculate both the parameters and cross check. So this is the strength of material. And coming to the RCC, in RCC most of the questions are specifications. And this year IS 875 codal provisions are given in RCC also. That is a critical case here. First coming to the question 121, as per 1893 earthquake code, what is the percentage of imposed? Direct memory oriented question, 25%. If you remember, within seconds you can pick up the answer directly. This is also a memory oriented question. What is the, which of the following statement, again naughty not has come into the picture, be careful about this. The Delhi is the wrong option here, that we need to choose. It accounts for the importance of the building. Okay, that is wrong option here. Coming to the next question, which of the following statements, again naughty not is there. So this year so many times this NOT has come into the picture. Be careful about this. So answer is option C. It is a codal provision again. Coming to the next question, the standard deviation is given and desired characteristic strength is given. What is the target mean strength? Target mean strength is equal to FCK plus K is 1.65 times standard deviation. If you simplify by substituting all the data, it will be option A. Okay. Next, coming to the as per IS 456, again creep coefficient at 28 days 1.6, a standard value but memory oriented question. Now next IS 875 1987 code, imposed load that needs to be considered for living rooms. For living rooms, the imposed load will be UDL is 2.5 kilonewton per meter square, concentrated load of 2.7 kilonewton. Memory oriented, very difficult to remember in the exam. What is the typical unit weight of brick? Very standard case, unit weight of the brick is 20, concrete is 24. Again IS 875 related question is there, again naughty not is there here. So in this question, the wrong option is option D. All others are correct options. Next, coming to again IS 875 load code provisions. So what is the supporting structure? 10 floors. If you have 10 floors, you need to have 40%. So the reduction in the total distributed imposed load is 40%. Now coming to one-way slab, has effective span of 3.6 meter and 150 mm thickness actually. The live load expected on it is 3 kilonewton per meter square. What is the load for checking the serviceability? For checking serviceability, we take only the service loads. We are not going to use the ultimate loads. So here the dead load is nothing but 25 kilonewton per meter cube is dead load, and if you want to convert into kilonewton per meter square, multiply by thickness 0.15 meter and plus a live load of 3 kilonewton is acting. If you simplify this, it will be 6.75 kilonewton. Answer is option B. Now coming to the IS 456, it's a codal provision again. Answer is option A. Please check it up later. So next 149, the following is not a correct statement. NOT not, naughty not. Be careful. This is a wrong statement. All others are the correct statements. Coming to the next question, as per 1893 code, again earthquake code. So what they are asking you to find out is the characteristic strength. It is 0.36 na, for the concrete. So option C is the right option. So these are the questions, and most of the questions in RCC are based upon the codal specifications, memory oriented. We'll just talk about the questions of the transportation. In transportation also, the simple questions have come into the picture. Most of the cases are the formula oriented. Look at this question here. Length of the transition curve is given, then they are asking you shift L square by 24R. It is a formula oriented, memory oriented. Directly you need to remember this memory oriented option. Now coming to the parabola is preferred in vertical curves. Second degree parabola is preferred in vertical curves because it has a constant rate of change of gradient throughout. On summit curves we use parabola. On summit curves centrifugal force will not come into the picture. Now coming to this summit curve, L more than SSD, then length of parabolic summit curve is equal to, here whole square is required, but that brackets have gone, but however this is a memory oriented question. Again you need to remember that formula. Now coming to the question, for a street of 15-meter width, what is the spacing of lamps? The spacing of lamps is equal to lamp lumen into maintenance factor into quotient of utilization divided by the lux required on the road into width of the road. If you simplify all the data, you will get the answer as 30 meters center to center. Pick up option A. Come to the next question. Match the following type of question is given from the tunnels. From tunnels, one question has come this year. Cut and cover method is used for rectangular tunnels. P should match with 3. So this is gone. This is also gone. Next is shield driven, generally used for the circular tunneling. Q should match with 1. So answer is option B directly. By process of elimination, you need to pick up the right answer very quickly. Select the correct order of steps in travel demand modeling. In case of travel demand modeling, the answer here is option B. First trip generation, trip distribution, mode of choice, and then traffic assignment. Standard case. Now coming to the again memory oriented specifications are given in the match the following type of question. So here answer is option C, memory oriented. Come to the next question, which of the following statements is correct regarding Marshall stability test? So in case of the Marshall stability test, with the increase of bitumen content, the Marshall flow increases, air voids decreases, voids filled by bitumen increases. So answer is option A here, 51. Answer is option A. Now coming to this question, approximate psychological widening for a 2-lane road. For a 2-lane road, psychological widening will be V by 9.5 root R. This formula is used for 2-lane road only. If you simplify all the data, then WPS will be psychological widening is 0.4 meter. Now again a match the following type of question. Now reaction time for stopping side distance, we know it is 2.5 seconds. Reaction time for overtaking side distance is 2 seconds. Initial walking time of pedestrians for signal design is 7 seconds. So P should match with 4. P should match with 4 and R should match with 1. R should match with 1. So finally answer is option A. Process of elimination you need to use. And again green shield method, linear speed density method, Vmax, at Vmax K is 0, 60 kmph, and at Kmax V is 0, Kmax is equal to 60 by 0.5 will come into the picture, and Qmax will be Vmax by 2 and Kmax by 2 by green shield model, and answer is 1800 vehicle per hour. Answer is option A. Coming to the next question is a probability based question. Again it is same as what we have discussed in the RCC. They are asking you normal distribution function is given and probability for 97.5% probability, this is a function, and average value is what is the speed of vehicle with the probability. The normal distribution is given to you. So 55, 49. If you take V is equal to mean speed plus K times the standard deviation. So mean speed is 55 and K is 1.96 is given here. The standard deviation is given as 7. Deviation is nothing but difference between the two. Okay. So if you take and simplify, it will be 68 kilometer per hour. Okay. So coming to the railways, there are two questions from the railways here. That too, the standard questions are there. So coming to this question number 52, Indian Railways, the field survey normally covers the width of 200 meter on either side of the track. It is a standard question, standard specification. The widening of the gauge, it is the standard case with the standard values. This is the answer. So with this I am stopping. Narayan sir will take up next. Thank you.
Yeah, regarding hydrology irrigation, a confined aquifer is 6 meter deep, coefficient of permeability is given, distance is 100 meters apart, difference of the water elevation is 3 meters. Apply the formula of E is equal to Ki. K is given, I value H by L. You are going to get the answer 0.06 meters per day. 20 centimeter storm occurred for 6 hours in a catchment having Cn value 50. So S value you have to calculate 25,400 by Cn minus 254. It will be again 254. What is the formula for runoff? P minus IC whole square divided by P minus IC plus 0.2 S. In this we know the value of IC 0.3 S. P is given. What is the net rainfall is asking. P value 20 centimeter. Time duration is 6 hours. And S value is given 254. IC value 0.3 into 254. If you substitute the values, it will be getting around 9 centimeters. Nearest value 11.57 centimeter is the answer. This is a problem in hydrology. Every 1 hour increment is given. Calculate the value of W index. That will be around 0.98. So these 4 are not working. This is not working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In these 5 hours there is going to be runoff. If you apply the formula, phi index is equal effective rainfall minus runoff divided by effective time of rainfall. You are going to get the value 0.55 centimeter per hour. We know effective rainfall is sum of these 5 values. Time is 5 hours. Runoff value we are going to give, already given to you, 6.8 centimeters. All the data is given. TE is 5 hours. You can get the answer very easily. In the context of clouds and raindrop, this is on the classification of the clouds. Height is given up to 12 kilometers. Answer is cirrus. The annual evaporation from a lake width is a direct formula based question. Area is given. Annual evaporation is given. Per day he is requiring 1500 hectares. 240 centimeter I want in meters. Hectare meter. All this is per year. I want per day divided by 365. Mar diya to you will get 9.863. That is the right answer. In the process of drainage water through a soil during rainfall, what is the excess water? Directly we can say the three types of soil water: gravitational water, capillary water, and hygroscopic water. The answer is gravitational water. A cyclone formed outside the tropical zone, that is extratropical cyclone. Soil materials which have the property to store water due to good number of pores in them, but passage of water through them is not possible. They are called aquicludes. Aquiclude, they store the water, they can't transmit the water. Regarding the irrigation engineering, what is the sliding factor? Sliding factor is given by sum of the horizontal forces by sum of the vertical forces. Sliding factor is equal to sigma h divided by sigma v. From this we can calculate FSS. At 5 locations, depths of water penetration is given. He wants water distribution efficiency. Water distribution efficiency 1 minus YD bar divided by YM multiplied with 100. Take the 5 values as Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5. Ym will be, you are able to calculate sum of the y values divided by 5. Then calculate the sum of the deviations by number of deviations. That is YD bar, that is Ym. Simplify, you are going to calculate the value 0.899 you are going to get. Nearest value given is 0.905. So correct answer is 0.905. Which one of the following statements are correct? Choice of the particular type of aqueduct does not depend on its length. Wrong answer. Selection of the type of the document aqueduct lies in the conscious economy. That is definitely correct. Very wide drainage, type 3 is not correct. Type 3, we know what is type 3 aqueduct. It's a flumed aqueduct, the narrowed one. Length will be more, cost will be higher. Therefore, fourth option is correct. Out of the given 4 statements, 2 and 4 are correct answer. Option A to be chosen by you as the right option. Which one of the following is not a type of? Not. Repelling is pointing upstream, attracting is pointing downstream, perpendicular is pointing perpendicular, odd man, straight line is the odd man. I hope you have done well in this examination. All the best.
Hi everyone, now we'll see the design of steel structure. Very basic questions directly from code book only. Right. First question, as per the IS 800 2007, the maximum effective slenderness ratio for member always in tension other than pre-tension member. So this is our standard value, it is 400. Next question, what is the net area for the tension member shown in the figure in case of punched hole? Okay, so we have 2 types of hole, one is drilled hole and here it is punched hole. So here it is subjected to tension, right? So tension failure will occur perpendicular to the load. So what is the formula to find the net area? This is B minus N dash D naught into T. So here diameter of bolt hole is D plus clearance, right? Okay, but for punctured holes extra we have to consider 2 mm. So here diameter of the bolt is given 20 and clearance is here 2 extra 2 mm, then this is 24 mm. Okay, so net area equals to, what is the width of the plate is given? 100. Okay, here n dash is nothing but number of bolt holes in a section, right? So along the section 1 1, how many number of bolt holes are there? Only 2. So 2 into, so what is the diameter of bolt hole? 24. And what is the thickness given here? It is 10 mm. Okay, then can you find the net area from here? So here this you will get 520 mm square. Okay, then option C is correct. Next question, what is the design tensile strength of plate? Okay, so size of plate is given which holds for a 16 mm diameter bolt by considering yielding of cross section. Students, he asking to find the TDG, that is AG Fi divided by gamma m naught only, right? Design tensile strength of member based on cross section yielding. So what is the size of plate is given here? 130 into 12 width into thickness, and yield stress is 250, right? And what is the partial safety factor given? 1.1. So if you find this one, you'll get the TDG 354.54 into 10 to the power of cube Newton. Okay, but options given in terms of kilonewton, then option C is correct. Next question, consider the following statements. The design strength of tension member, this is a TD. TD is always smaller of TDG, TDN and TDB, right? This is based on cross section yielding, this is based on net section rupture, and this is block shear failure, right? Okay, so here design strength due to yielding of, this is TDG, okay, and this is TDN, and block shear failure TDB. So all are correct, then option D is correct. Next question, as per the IS 800-2007, what is the effective length of prismatic compression member for the restrained both in translation and rotation boundary conditions at the both the supports? It means both supports are fixed supports, right? If both supports are fixed supports, what is the effective length formula? 0.65 L. Okay, then option B is correct. Next question, what is the working load is given? Okay, working load also called service load. Compression member which effective sectional area is given, and design compressive stress is given. Okay, students, design load equals to effective area into design stress only, right? So what is the effective area is given? 7500, and what is the stress is given? 300. But he asking to find the working load or service load. This is design load divided by partial safety factor. Okay, so 7500 into 300 divided by factor of safety is given 1.5. If you solve this question, then you will get this is 1500 kilonewton. Okay, then option B is correct. Next question, which of the following statements related to a design of laced column as per IS 800-2007 is not correct given? Okay, students, this slenderness ratio for lacing bar should not exceed 145. Yes, it is correct, but in the question he asking not correct. In bolted riveted construction, the minimum width of lacing bar shall be 4 times is given, but this is 3 times of D only, right? Approximately. Okay, not 4 times. Then this is wrong. Then option B. Next, a roof of a hall measuring size is given 8 meter by 12 meter, consists of 100 mm thick reinforced concrete slab. Now this is brittle, right? Reinforcement, this is brittle, and the steel beam is designed considering finishing load, live load is given, and what is the permissible deflection for this as per IS 800-2007. So here deflection formula is directly span by 300, right? So what the span is given here? Span is given 9 meter. Okay, then this you will get 30 mm. Okay, then option C is correct. Next, simply supported beam. Span is given 1.5 meter and factored concentrated load is given. This is 360 kilo Newton. What is the section modulus he asking? And yield stress is given, partial safety factor given. Students, here M equals to F into section modulus, right? Okay, so what is the M here? This is PL by 4 only, right? Okay, but this is design stress. But in the question he asking working stress, right? So working stress means this is yield stress by partial safety factor 1.1 into section modulus. So here P value is given, length is given, and from this yield stress also given. Can you find the section modulus? So you'll get the section modulus here 594 into 10 to the power of cube you will get. Then option A is correct. Next question. What is the effective length of a simply supported beam of span length 7 meter for the following restraint conditions at the support under normal condition? Okay, and torsional restraint is given, fully restrained, and warping restraint given, both the flanges fully restrained. So this is a direct question from code book. So 0.7 into L only, right, formula. So 0.7 into 7000. Okay, then this is 4.90 mm, then meter, right. Next, what is the bending moment in case of continuous purlins? Okay, so formula is directly WL square by 10, right? For simply supported beam, WL square by 8. So continuous beam, WL square by 10, right. In the case of stiffened seated connection, avoid local buckling. Typical, the ratio of outstanding leg length to its thickness should be less than 8. Then option B is correct. So these are the questions from design of steel structure. Thank you.
Now let's see the questions from the surveying. So which one of the following is not correct regarding the measurement of the horizontal distances? Absolute correction, which is nothing but true length minus nominal length. Now steel tape will give better results than the invert tape. No, invert tape will give more better results. So the incorrect statement is option B. In leveling, what is the combined correction? There is a correction, curvature and refraction at a distance of the 1 kilometer. So the correction is minus 0.067 d square, this where d is in terms of the kilometer. If you solve it, the answer is 0.067 meters. For setting of a triangular platform ABCD, a rotating construction laser was used. It gave a reading of 0.878 meters and temporary BM having a level of 45.110, where the lowest level is a 45.30 meters with a slope of 1 in 1000 longitudinally. So what they're asking is, So from the offset, what is the laser beam into the corner? If you apply all the corrections, you will be getting an answer of 0.520. The correct answer is option C. Next, side rails are used for setting out the gradient of trench at the bottom or pipe inwards. Option D. Location of a point by resection requires pointing made on at least 2 known sections. So the correct answer is option B. A reverse curve consists of a 2 circular arcs of the same radius with their centers of curvature on the same side of the common tangent. So option B. Now maximum ordinate on a mass Hall diagram comes at the end of the cut or an embankment. So at the end of the cut, from the given answers, the answer is option A. A line AB between the stations A and B was measured as 348 meters using a 20-meter tape. So too short, that tape was short by 0.05 meters. What is the correct length? The correct length is going to be less than 348. From the given options, the correct answer is 347.13 after solving. A tape of a standard length 20 meters at 85 degrees was used to measure a baseline. The measured distance was 888.50 meters. What is the true length of the line? So if the mean temperature during the measurement was 63 degrees and the coefficient of thermal expansion, so everything was given. Now if you solve it, after solving, you will be end up with a correct answer as 879 points. No, 882.374. So the correct answer is option C, 882.374. With what accuracy must a difference in the elevation between 2 ends of a 30-meter tape, difference in the elevation is 3 meters and the accuracy ratio is to be the at least 1 in 60,000. Oh sorry, 6 into 10 power of 5. The correct answer is after solving 0.0005 meters, option A. In the context of measures of surfaces, which one of the following is not correct? From the given options, option D, 1 square mile is equals to 10 power of 9. Now, coming to the open channel flow, only one question from the open channel flow. Without velocity of approach, so the discharge through a capillative weir. The discharge through a capillative weir is nothing but the suppressed weir. The correct answer is nothing but option A, 2/3 of CD into L into root 2G into H to the power of 3/2. That's all with the survey and open channel flow.
Right. Good evening, students. So now we'll discuss questions which have come from building materials topic. So first question. So water absorption for burnt clay heavy duty bricks. So here it's important.
okay, note that it is about not your ordinary clay bricks, heavy duty bricks. Basically for this the relevant code is IS 2180, so where it says that water absorption for heavy duty bricks should not be more than 10%. So correct option is option A. The decomposition of feldspar is represented as given by the formula. Okay. Now here there are few corrections. One, feldspar, the formula potassium based feldspar, the formula is K2O Al2O3 dot 6 SiO2. So it should be K2O Al2O3 dot 6 SiO2. Okay. Now this decomposes in the presence of carbon dioxide and water to give K2CO3, alumina and silica along with 4 SiO2 and water. Okay. So option is B. So option is B. Yeah, option is B. Next, the metal oxide used to make emerald green glass is, so emerald green glass, so potassium dichromate is needed. So potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7. Okay. So option B. Now we have to match list 1 and list 2 regarding the defects in timber. So all these are on the left hand side, or list 1, they are defects in timber. So now here you can see knot is a very common defect. So when do we observe knots? So when there was a branch coming out from a main tree which got broken, and as the tree ages, the tree will grow around that broken part. So knot deals with caused by the wood limbs encased by wood of the free trunk. So it will be encased by the main trunk. So option knot is related to S is 1. So among the options, option B. Okay, directly from that you can get, okay, other defects are little difficult, okay, but knot is a very much known defect. So from that only you can answer the question. Okay. Now which one of the following statements is not correct regarding fineness of cement? Okay. Now see, as fineness increases, rate of strength gain increases, rate of setting increases, rate of evolution of heat also increases. But option D, it is given that fineness of cement will not affect the setting time. So that is incorrect. As fineness increases, setting becomes faster. So option D is the incorrect statement. Okay. Again we have to match list 1 and list 2. The type of cement and applications of the cement. Where do we use rapid hardening cement? Wherever repair works are there. Okay. So P will match with 1. Quick setting cement mainly used for underwater concreting. So Q will match with 3. High alumina cement, okay, it can resist high temperatures without failing, hence used for refractories. So 1 will match with this. High alumina cement with 4. Low heat cement, okay. So we need low heat of hydration for mass concreting like dams to reduce shrinkage cracks. So this is the right order. So P is matching with 1, option D. Option D. Right. Now in the raw materials to manufacture cement, okay, what is the lime content? Lime content should be around 60 to 67%. Okay, it is 60 to 65, that is also correct. So option A. The percentage of magnesia in cement is calculated based on which formula? See, when you do chemical analysis for cement, okay, residue is formed which contains magnesia. So out of the total residue, around 27.4% is your magnesia content. So that is coming to B. The minimum value of modulus of rupture for class A category lime. Class A category lime, okay, it's a direct factual value. It is 1.05. Again matching list 1 and list 2. Okay. Now normal brickwork, which kind of mortar do we use? We use 1:6 cement mortar for general brickwork. Plastering we use 1:4 cement mortar. Grouting we use 1:1.5 cement mortar. Gunneting we use 1:3. So that will match with option B. Okay. Now which one of the following statements is correct regarding the factors influencing strength of concrete. Okay. Now here basically the relation between the size of the concrete specimen and strength measured from UTM compressive strength test and the modulus of elasticity, they are related. Okay. Now as we know, because of the size factor, as the size of the sample specimen increases, strength decreases. So if size decreases, strength is observed to be more, okay, for the same concrete. Now so here, okay, as you decrease the size, strength is increased. Okay. Now strength and modulus of elasticity are directly proportional. Because of that, we can say as you decrease the size of the specimen, strength measured is increasing, modulus of elasticity measurement is also increasing. So option C. Okay. So as cube size decreases, strength and elasticity increases. The cement content in the mixed design, okay, 378 kg per meter cube, water content is given as 170 kgs, sand is given as 30% of the aggregate weight, entrapped air is 1%, specific gravities of cement, coarse aggregate and fine aggregate are given. What we have to calculate? We have to measure fine aggregate quantity. Okay. Now for this, the basic logic is that volume of your concrete is volume of your ingredients. So volume of concrete is 1 minus 1 by 100. So we are removing the entrapped air, that cubic meters is equal to volume of cement particles, weight 378 divided by 3150. Okay. That is the volume of cement particles. Okay. I am assuming X as the weight of aggregate. So weight of my fine aggregate is 0.3x divided by 2600 plus 0.7x is my coarse aggregate plus weight of water is given as 170 kgs divided by 1000. Okay. Now solve for x, okay, that will come around 1800 kgs of aggregate content, okay, around 1800. Okay. So multiply with 0.3, okay, so it will be around 600 kgs. Okay. Option B. Now I am sorry, it is coming to around option C, 550. Okay, coming to 560, hence 550, right. So that was about building materials. Next, no. Question on engineering geology. Okay, it's a direct factual question. So basically, so different type of tunnels or different kind of dams or structures, so which stresses are created due to certain geological phenomena that is mentioned. Okay, the presence of syncline creates problem of seepage in dam foundation. That is correct. So this statement is correct. There will be more bending of the anticlines in the upper strata and more joints in the tension stresses compared to lower strata. That is also correct. A tunnel passing through syncline will experience more lateral pressure in the middle part than from the portals. That is also correct. So all the three are correct. Option D. Okay. So that was a single question on engineering geology. Question is related to a construction activity. Okay. Now the construction activity mainly deals with excavation and disposal of that excavated material. Now for that activity you need excavators, you need dumper trucks, you need dozers, you need loaders. All kinds of equipment are required. When all they are working together, then you will reach the required output. Okay. Now so much data is given, but to solve the question the whole data is not necessary. See, the question ultimately they are asking, the question is asked, how many dumper trucks are required to do this particular task. Now let us understand what is the task. So 88,000 cubic meters of soil, okay, has to be excavated and disposed of, okay. Now it has to be completed in 200 working hours. So total output shall be 88,000 meter cube is the total volume of excavation and hauling which has to be done. It has to be done in 200 hours, okay. So 440 meter cube per hour, okay, that is the output you have to match. Now number of dumper trucks is what we have to calculate. So one dumper truck cycle time is given as 40 minutes and a single dumper truck can carry, okay, in one cycle 22 cubic meters. So one truck will be able to handle 22 into 60 by 40 meter cube per hour, okay. So that is the capacity of a single truck, okay, coming to 33 meter cube per hour, okay. So how many trucks are required, okay. Total output 440 divided by 33, that is approximately 14 trucks, okay. But the issue is 14 is not an option given here, so from that, okay, nearest option will be 18 because 12 will be insufficient to handle the task, right. Next. Now what is the amount of water required per hour for compacting loose soil being spread by a shovel and dozer at a rate of 230 cubic meter per hour for a soil having density of 1.5 gram per centimeter cube, okay. 1.5 gram per meter cube is not practical, okay, it's a very low value. It should have been 1.5 gram per centimeter cube and 8% moisture content needed for is present, and what is needed for optimum for compaction is OMC water content requirement is given as 12, okay. So already soil has 8%, we have to increase it to 12% moisture content. So here the shovel is working at a rate of 230 cubic meter per hour, okay. So that is equivalent to 15 into 1500 kg per hour, okay. 230 cubic meters per hour, 1 cubic meter is 1500 kg per meter cube, which is same as 1.5 gram per cc, okay. Now this multiplied by 4% moisture content, okay, so that will give you 13800 kg per hour, okay. So water 1 kg is the same as 1 liter, so that will be option B, okay, right. Construction equipment, 128 question. Question on construction equipment, okay, right, yeah, and the question on construction equipment. So what is the time required to grade and finish 30 km of road formation with width equal to thrice the width of the motor grader? So whatever is the width of the road, okay, that is 3 times the width of the motor grader which you are using, okay. Now using total 6 number of passes, okay. So this motor grading, okay, for road formation total 6 number of passes you have to go, okay. Now consecutive 2 passes, okay, each successive 2 passes are going at a rate of 6 km per hour, 8 km per hour and 10 km per hour respectively, okay. So efficiency of the equipment, okay, it is given as 75%. So in this case, what is the time required to finish the road formation, okay. So now, okay, so here, okay, 2 consecutive passes, okay, the velocity is given. So each pass you are traveling around 30 kilometers 2 passes divided by 6 for the first 2 passes, 30 kilometers into 2 by 8 plus 30 into 2 by 10. Okay, so this is coming to 23.5 hours. Okay, now this is for one set of operation. Okay, so total 6 passes have to be done. Okay, and it has to be done for the whole width of the road. So in 6 passes you are covering 1/3 of the width, so into 3 times, so into 3 will be the total time required for the complete operation. That divided by efficiency 0.75, that comes out to be 94 hours. Okay, next option 90 is given. Okay, so 90 is the correct answer. Okay, right, so that was about construction equipment. Okay.
Good evening students, I hope your exam went well. Let us discuss environmental engineering, and I have been saying you always try to solve environmental engineering questions in the shortest time possible. For example, 12 questions are there, make sure you are solving in 5-6 minutes. Use this 5-6 minutes in questions which has complex numericals. I hope that suggestion worked well for you in this exam because there were so many complex questions this time. And now coming to the paper analysis, you can see the questions were quite straightforward. Everyone knows bacteria, typhoid, salmonella, typhi, so direct you can link it. Virus, नाम में ही virus दे रखा है, hepatitis virus, hepatitis B, jaundice, so directly you can link it. Protozoa, you all know amoeba, right? यहाँ पे आपको amoeba दिख रहा है, and this is a new name, right? So even if you don't know, it doesn't matter, you can directly link it to helminths. Helminth means small tiny worms which are present in water. Echinococosis, schistosomiasis are some of the diseases, we already know it, right? So you can just tick the right option. So 4 3 2 1, 4 3 2 1. Chalo. And next we will see numericals at the end so that we can wrap it at one place. Now coming to one more question, this you can consider it as theory almost. So here he is asking what is the fire demand for 1 lakh people, and that too he is very specific as per the manual of water supply treatment. What is manual of water supply treatment? We have discussed in the class, CP HEEO manual, right? So Central Public Health Environmental Engineering Organization का manual है. But as per that manual there is only one formula, that volume of water required per day is what? 100 √p meter cube, right? Where population is in thousands. So 1 lakh population means how many thousands baba? 100,000. So P का value क्या बन गया? 100. So volume will be 100 √100, which will be 10 into 100, which is 1000 meter cube, right, per day. So if you convert it to liter per minute, it will come very less, it will come hardly 600, right? So you can convert it to liter, that will be another 10 to the power of 3 liters. Convert this to minute, that will be 24 hours into 60 minutes. So you get somewhere around 600. So the answer is not there, first of all, right? But that is hardly for 2 hours of time, so ignore that. Now what is the best suitable answer? See, if you can recollect, we have written in our class notes, in India we can use Kuchling's formula, right? It is the closest to the Indian condition. And what is Cushing's formula, Baba? 3182 root P. So root 100 is 10, so 31820 liter per minute. So you can tick it. So what is the closest answer we are having? Just closest answer, just going by that option C. But you can definitely challenge this question. Now coming to the next question, nitrate. Everyone knows, probably everyone tick this correct. So up to 45 mg per liter, direct question from the code book. Now coming to this, again we will solve it at the end, don't worry, numerical. Now next question, this also looks like numerical but बहुत ही आसान है. He is saying, right, activated sludge process का question है. He is taking 1 liter dabba, and in this dabba of 1 liter, what is the concentration of MLSS, Baba? Concentration of solids कितना है? 4000 mg per liter. 4000 mg per liter is nothing but 4 grams per liter. Yani in this 1 liter dabba you are having 4 grams of microorganisms, you can say. Now you are allowing it to settle for 30 minutes. So in this dabba all these microorganisms settle down, and the volume of it is 400 ml. Right, 400 ml total volume occupied by 4 grams. 1 gram is occupying how much? Very simple. So total occupying 400 ml. How many grams are there? 4 grams are there. So what is the answer, Baba? Each gram is occupying 100 ml. So that is your answer. Bus 100 is your SVI, sludge volume index. Now this also numerical, we will see at the end. Coming to the next question, right? He is saying groundwater, right? So directly if you are following the notes, you would be ticking the answer and that answer would go wrong. Because read the question carefully. He is saying groundwater with low mineral content. That means in this groundwater, generally in groundwater what happens, we will be having both dissolved solids as well as dissolved gases. So if dissolved solids are there, they will form precipitate, and to remove this precipitate we have to do what, Baba? Sedimentation, so that the solids will be gone. यहाँ पे तो solid ही नहीं है. So there is no requirement of sedimentation. So sedimentation should not be present. So directly whichever has sedimentation tank, that you can cancel off. And next there are two options, option A and option B. So in that, first I will do aeration followed by disinfection. So option A. Why sir? Why aeration first? If there are lot of impurities in water, efficiency of chlorination will decrease, na? If you are adding chlorine, chlorine will be busy what? Oxidizing these gases. बेकार हो जाएगा, efficiency कम हो जाएगी. So first do aeration, remove the impurities, then do the disinfection. Okay, option A. Next, in solid waste management, compaction ratio is defined as, very simple, we know compaction ratio, it is nothing but density of compacted solid waste divided by density of uncompacted solid waste. So here there might be two confusions. Sir, ये जो uncompacted है, is it as discarded or as deposited? Obviously as deposited. As discarded means how you are throwing in your house. But the solid waste what you are throwing in your house is as it is going to landfill. No, right? In intermediate stage कहीं ना कहीं वो थोड़ा बहुत compress हो जाएगा. So at that landfill site what you are depositing, that is your density of uncompacted solid waste. So option D. Next, which of the following statements regarding traveling of sound is correct? See, in noise pollution, right, whatever quantities we have studied, we always study perpendicular or normal to the propagation of sound wave. So Baba, here if you are seeing the keyword, that is normal, parallel, थर्ड में कहाँ पे? परपेंडिकुलर, अगेन पैरेलल. जहाँ पे भी पैरेलल दिखा है क्लोज, राइट? सो व्हाट आर द राइट आंसर? ऑप्शन 1 and 3. So option 1 and 3, option B. Okay, sound intensity is your pressure, sorry, sound power divided by unit area. Sound pressure, pressure तो जानते ही हो, load divided by area, और force divided by area perpendicular to the direction of sound. Next, this question is a bouncer question. I am being very honest with you. If you ask me randomly, sir, what are the code books associated with this noise pollutions, even I will be not in a position to tell you. But based on my knowledge, कहीं ना कहीं मैंने पढ़ा था 4758. Probably I have asked you in one of the test series also. 4758 is related to measurement of noise pollution from vehicles. So I know only one. I am being very honest with you, right? So all these code books, who knows, who knows what is the code book for measurement of industrial noise or measurement from machines? No one knows it, right? So this one is quite famous because it is present in the Motor Act, it is present in the Air Act 1981. So there is Air Act 1981 na? So last 3-4 pages in that act is related to noise pollution only, वहाँ पे भी ये mentioned था, तो इसलिए मुझे याद है. So the fortunate thing is this R is matching with 1 in only one of the options, so I am ticking option B as the right answer, and based on that I can say this code book belong to so and so. Okay, so it's a bouncer question for many, but if you can recollect this, it is a very simple question. Now coming to the next thing, another simple question, which of the following statements are correct, right? So landfill must be proximate to wastewater treatment facility, that means landfill site should be very close to that of wastewater treatment plant. दूरी रहने दो, बेहतर है, right? So we cannot give 100% correct or wrong, right? Let us keep it aside. Landfills are not compatible with the airport siting. Yes, it is 100% correct statement, because अगर आप landfill बनाते हो near some airport, okay, so this landfill will attract lot of tourists, I have told you, right? So बहुत सारे कीड़े आएंगे, बहुत सारे जानवर आ जाएंगे, dogs, right? So cows, all these things will be present. Not only that, lot of birds will also come, right? So vultures, eagles, everything will be there. आके वो flight को चिपक जाएगा, right? And there is a chance flight might get or face a minor accident. So to avoid risk, we don't keep it there. So obviously this is 100% correct statement, right? 1, I am not sure. 3, the bottom of landfill must be below the highest expected ground water elevation. ये तो 100% गलत है, because ground water table should always be much below your landfill site, or else what will happen? Groundwater will be contaminated. So statement 3 100% wrong, right? So obviously the remaining 2 statements based on option should be correct. So I am going with option A. Now coming to the next question. So if the polluted water is discarded directly to the recipient, yani there is some polluted water and I am sending it directly into some river or lake, it will lead to serious deterioration of ecological life in water body. We all know if wastewater comes, dissolved oxygen will decrease in water, fishes will die, plants will die, bad smell will start to come. So 100% correct statement. The polluted water is usually treated in sewage treatment plant before the disposal. We all know how to protect environment, construct wastewater treatment plant. Correct statement. So both 1 and 2 are correct. So now let us see the problems. There are 3 problems, and 2 of these problems are related to what? BOD, right? So in BOD we have simple formula. I hope you people remember it. If you want BOD with respect to any time t, right, or BOD let us say 5 days, or you can also measure at 3 days. If you can recollect, BOD कब measure करते हैं हम लोग? What are the standards we are having? 5 days at 20 degrees centigrade or 3 days at 27 degrees centigrade, right? So whatever time, what you can do, dissolved oxygen initial minus dissolved oxygen after 5 days if you want 5, if 3 days dissolved oxygen 3 into dilution factor. Now the question is, here what he is saying, initial dissolved oxygen is 8.5 it seems, the final dissolved oxygen should be 1.5, BOD is 300, he is asking what is the dilution factor. Okay, so very easy question. 300 is equals to 8.5 minus 1.5 into dilution factor. So dilution factor is 300 divided by 7, so approximately some 42 ऐसा कुछ आएगा. So if dilution factor is less than 42, then you will be having a error. Dilution factor should be more than 42. कितना रखोगे? Closest answer 50. Right. Now there is one more copy paste question of BOD, but little bit complicated. So in this question, if you are able to see this, right, here he is doing seeding of water sample, right? So let me tell you for a minute what is seeding. Generally BOD bottle इतने का रहेगा, 300 ml. So if you are taking 100% wastewater, you will get error. So what we do? We take some amount of wastewater, remaining we take pure water. In the previous question it was pure water. So what was the formula? Very simple. BOD, for example 5 days चाहिए तो DO initial minus DO5 into dilution factor if you are taking pure water. But here what he is doing, he is taking impure water. Seeding, he has clearly said seeding. Now the question is why he is doing this seeding. Are simple hai. See, if you are taking industrial wastewater, right? What is the concept? If you are giving some time to microorganisms, it will decrease the oxygen and we can measure how much oxygen is consumed. But in industrial wastewater, there won't be microorganisms present. So even though if I am having lot of food in industrial wastewater, you will never get what is the BOD, what is oxygen demand by these microorganisms, you can never find. So what we are doing, instead of mixing pure water, I will mix some dirty water which is already having microorganism. अगर मैं dirty water मिला दूं तो microorganism पानी में आ जाएगा. It will start eating the food. So it will give us how much BOD is there. So formula should be modified. So what is a modified formula if you can recollect? BOD5 is equals to DO initial minus DO5 minus seeded water का initial minus seeded water after 5 days into seed volume divided by total volume into dilution factor. Now initial dissolved oxygen how much given? 10 is given. After 5 days it is 2 it seems. Dissolved oxygen of this water sample, it is not given. I am assuming it to be 10 again because obviously temperature is less than 20 degrees. At 20 degrees 9.2, less than 20 I am taking as 10, not a problem just for solving it. 10 minus 8 into what is the volume of seed by volume of total. Are very simple. Here dilution factor is how much given? 30, right? So he is saying volume of sample, right, plus seed divided by volume of sample is 30. Okay, so what does this mean, Baba? ये जो 30 है इसमें one part is of sample, remaining 29 parts is of what? Your seed. So directly I can multiply 29 parts divided by total how many parts? 30 parts into dilution factor 30. So just multiply this, you will end up getting 182 mg per liter. So what is the closest answer we are having? The closest answer is 183. Now the final question. There is one more numerical. Yeah, there is one more numerical. Again, little bit easy only. Similar question what we have seen in the class. So here he is saying there is a anaerobic digester. Okay, first let us find out volume of this digester. How to find out? Very simple. He is saying solid loading rate. How much is solid loading rate? 3 kg per meter cube per day. That means if you are taking 1 meter cube volume, in that 3 kg food will be coming per day. What are the total solids present? Per day he is saying 1500 kg. Can you get the volume of this tank? Very easily I can get. Volume will be, right, so total solids divided by solid loading rate. So 1500 kg per day divided by 3 kg per meter cube per day. So day kg cancel, you will be getting 500 meter cube. So I know the volume of this tank is how much? 500 meter cube. Now what he is asking? He is asking the density of sludge is 1 liter per kg. So 1 liter is 1 kg he is saying. What is the hydraulic retention time? For how much time the water or sludge will be present in this tank? So how to get this time? Are very simple. Find out how much sludge is coming. How to find out? Sludge is water. It is solids plus water. Solid how much? 4%. So water will be how much? 96% because total is 100%. Na? So here itself he is saying 4% is 1500 kg per day. what will be 100%? Right. So 4% is 1500, 1% means 1500 by 4, 100% means 1500 into 100 by 4. So somewhere around right 37500, right, kg per day you are going to get, which is nothing but 37.5 into 10 to the power of 3 kg per day. But here he is saying the density of sludge is 1 kg per liter. That means 1 kg is what? 1 liter. Exactly 1 kg is 1 liter. So I am directly writing 37.5 what? Meter cube per day. I am getting 37,500 liter, which is nothing but 37.5 meter cube per day. Therefore, how much time is required? Total volume is 500 meter cube. Per day, how much you are getting? 37.5. Can I cancel anything? Meter cube, just divide this, you will be getting approximately 13.5. Day will go up, you will be getting 13.5 days. So the answer is 13.5 days. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any queries, you can ask me. So I think we have solved all the questions of environmental engineering. Thank you so much. Next subject will be fluid mechanics.
रिस्टार्ट करूँ ओके Good evening, ESE aspirants. So we'll be taking up the questions from the fluid mechanics. I'll be discussing only the keys. So here for the 63 question, that is wooden block of rectangular section having the dimensions as 1.25 meter wide and 2 meter deep and 4 meter long, and it is floating horizontally in the sea water, and specific gravity is given, water weight is given. Under this situation, the buoyancy of the wood is at a distance of 0.64 meters above the base. That is option B is the answer. Next is question number 64. A rectangular pontoon is 5 meter long and 3 meter wide and 1.2 meter height. The depth of immersion of the pontoon is 1 meter in the sea water if the center of gravity is 0.6 meters above the bottom of the pontoon. What is the metacentric height of the same? So metacentric height needs to be computed for this. So for this question, option A is the answer, that is 0.65 meters is the answer. Next is 65 question, that is what is the vorticity components at the point 1, 1, 1 for the following flow field. That is it's a three-dimensional flow field. So U, V and W velocities are expressed as a functions of X and Y variables. And if you solve for this question, the answer would be option A. That is, if you are solving for vorticity components, that is option A will be the answer. Next, question number 66. Which of the following correctly depicts the continuity equation in its integral form? So this is a standard question, and the answer is option C. That is d rho by dt plus del of rho v bar. That's equal to 0. Okay, 66 question, option C is the answer. And 67th question, which of the following sets of the equation represent the possible two-dimensional incompressible flows? So for this incompressible flow, the answer would be option A. Yeah, option A, that is one equation, that is statement 1 is only the correct one. So option A is the answer. Next is question number 68. That is venturimeter having an area of 700 centimeter square into 150 centimeter square is inserted in a vertical pipe carrying a water flowing in the upward direction. The differential manometer connected to the inlet and throat gives a reading of 20 centimeter. What is the approximate discharge by assuming CD equal to 1 and G equal to 1000 centimeter per second square? So this, upon solving, you would be getting the answer as 30 liter per second, which is not included in the option, not in option. Okay. Next is 69th question. The flow of incompressible fluid is defined by U equal to 2 and V equal to 8x. What is the stream function? So stream function is required to be computed for this, and that is option B is the answer. Okay. Next is question number 70. Question number 70, that is water at 60 degrees flows between two large flat plates, and the lower plate moves to the left at a speed of 0.3 meter per second, and the plate spacing is 3 mm, and the flow is laminar. The pressure gradient required to produce the zero net flow at the cross section is given by, yeah. For the question number 70, the answer is option A. Okay. Moving to next question, that the rate of flow of water through the horizontal pipe is 0.25 meter cube per second. The diameter of the pipe in which is 200 mm and is suddenly enlarged to 400 mm. The pressure intensity of a smaller pipe is 11.772 Newton per centimeter square. The approximate power lost due to enlargement. So the power lost due to the sudden change in cross section needs to be calculated. That is, for this question, option A is the answer. If you use the right relations, option A will be the answer for question number 72. Question number 73. Water is flowing with the velocity of 1.5 meters in a pipe of length 2,500 meters and the diameter of 500 mm. At the end of the pipe, the valve is provided. What is the rise in the pressure if the valve is closed in 25 seconds? So for this question, option A is the answer. That is 15 Newton per centimeter square. Next is the question from the hydraulic machines. There are two questions from the hydraulic machines. A Pelton wheel is having mean bucket speed of 10 meter per second, and the jet of water is flowing at a rate of 700 liter per second under the head of 31.25. The bucket deflects the jet through an angle of 150 degrees, assuming the coefficient of velocity as unity and G equal to 10 meter per second and density of water as 1000. Approximate power given by the water to the turner needs to be calculated. So this comes out to be as approximately 196 kilowatts. That's option A is the answer. Next is 75 question number. Consider the following statements regarding the operating characteristics curve of a centrifugal pump. So first statement is input power curve will pass through the origin. Statement 2 is head curve will have the maximum value of head when the discharge is maximum. Output power curve will start from the origin and efficiency of the curve will start from the origin. So for this question number 75, option B is the answer. That is statement, option B is the answer. Statement 2 and 4 are the correct ones. Statement 3 and 4 are the correct ones. So option B is the answer. Okay, so these were the questions from the fluid mechanics and hydraulic machines. I hope you have performed well in the examination. Thank you.